Hello everyone, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Welcome to UDAAN Deepak YouTube channel and I am Deepak. So I hope ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಚಲೋ ಮಾಡಾಕತ್ತೀರಿ. ನಾಳೆನ ಏನೈತಿ ನಿಮ್ದು ಬಯಾಲಜಿ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಐತಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಚಲೋ ಹೊಂಟೈತಿ. ಯಾರು ನೋಡಾಕತ್ತೀರಿ ಚಾನಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಯಾರು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಲೈವ್ ಸೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರಿ. ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಈಚ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸೀಡಿಂಗ್ಲಿ ವೆರಿ ವೆಲ್. ಹಿಂಗ ಚಲೋ ಮಾಡಿ. I can see many students online here. Shubhakumar, Akash, Samran, RCBN, Tulsi, very good dear. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹಿಂಗ ಅಂತಾಗಿ ಚಂದಾಗಿ ಓದಬೇಕು, ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಓದಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕಟ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಮೈ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಮೇಕ್ ಶೋರ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಾನು ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಮ್ಯಾರಥಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲಾಂಗ್. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 7 ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅಟ್ 7 PM ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಬಯಾಲಜಿ ಮೂರು ಅಷ್ಟು ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಗ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ ಬಿ ಓದ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೂ ಅಷ್ಟು 99 70 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 80 ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅದಾವು. ಒಂದೇ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದಿನ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೈತಿ. ಸೊ ಕೀಪಿಂಗ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. So these sessions I have taken. So ಯಾರು ಏನೋ ಡೌಟ್ ಇತ್ತು ಸಜೆಷನ್ ಇತ್ತು ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿ. ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ವಿನಯ್ ಮಲಾಲಿ ದೆನ್ ಹೋಲ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅದಾರು, ಆಕಾಶ ಐತಿ. ಸೊ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಮಂದಿ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಅದೀರಿ. ಹಿಂಗ ನೀವು ಅಂದಾಗಿ ಚಂದಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ದಾಗ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಾ ಏನೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಓದ್ಕೋರಿ. ನಾಳೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ ಬರ್ತಾವು. ಸೊ ನಾಟ್ ವೇಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಚ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಈಗ we will begin with what discussion of the most important, that is we will start with the hi Vinay Akash. So fast ಆಗಿ ನನಗೀಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಸಿ ಲೈಫ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬರೋದು ಏನ್ರಿ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಷನ್ is food means energy. See, all living things perform certain life processes like growth, excretion, respiration, circulation, reproduction. Energy required to carry out different life processes obtained from carbon-based food source we call nutrition. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುವಾಗ ಟೂ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಷನ್ ಗೊತ್ತೈತಿ. ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ autotrophic nutrition, the nutrition in which it is a kind of nutrition. Auto ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿ automatic. The plant prepare their own food. We call it as what? We call it as autotrophic nutrition. The organisms which depends on others for their food. Other living organisms for their food we call it as heterotrophic nutrition. You can see fungi. There are three types of heterotrophic nutrition: holozoic, amoeba, animals, saprophytes, fungi, and then parasitic cuscutartics and mites. Then nutrition in plant. So plant and nutrition have actively. So that is nutrition in plants will happen through photosynthesis. So photosynthesis ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸನ್ಲೈಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕ್ಲೋರೋಫಿಲ್ ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. ಈ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬೈ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಹೊಡಿಬೇಕು ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್. ಸೊ yes, then if they ask 3 mark this question, steps involved in photosynthesis, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುವಂಗೆ there are 3 steps in photosynthesis. So ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ which are the 3 steps in photosynthesis ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ? Yes, which are the 3 steps in photosynthesis? First one is absorption, second one is conversion, and third one is reduction. So ನಾಳೆ exam ಅಲ್ಲಿ fix ಪಡಿತೀರಿ what is photosynthesis and write the 3 steps involved in photosynthesis. The first step is absorption of sunlight by chlorophyll. Chlorophyll ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ sunlight absorb ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ. Then conversion of light energy into chemical energy and splitting of water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen. Last one is reduction of carbon dioxide to glucose or carbohydrate. So these are the 3 steps in photosynthesis. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೋ ಬೇಕು. Saint Diveshwar Patigeri, Madhavi Chalgeri, very good dear, you have been the right. Then exchange of gases activity, you know what is stomata? Stomata are the tiny pores through which the exchange of gases takes place, and this opening and closing of stomatal pore is taken care by guard cells. This is ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. And there is an activity to demonstrate it. So you can just go through the activity, and this activity in your textbook that demonstrates that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Then there is one more activity here which demonstrates carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis. So ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ potassium hydroxide ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ, and you know that potassium hydroxide absorbs the carbon dioxide. Therefore you need to see that carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis. Then there is one more activity in your textbook that demonstrates the sunlight is necessary. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಟೇಪ್ ಹಚ್ಚಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಕಲರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೈತಿ, ಬಾಕಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. Under this activity shows that the sunlight is essential for photosynthesis. Varsha sir is sir, we should read LBA or what? Yes dear, LBA ಓದಬೇಕು. LBA ಲಿಂದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 5 ಇಯರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 10 ವರ್ಷ ಬಂದಂತ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಓದ್ಕೋರಿ ಸಾಕು. ಬಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷ ಬರೀ ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕಲಿತೀರಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ LBA ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ ಇರೋದು ಬರೀ ಒಂದೇ ದಿನ, ಅದು ಇವತ್ತಿಂದ ಒಂದು 8ರಿಂದ 10 ತಾಸು ಐತಿ, ಅಲ್ವಾ ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಓದಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಯು ಆಲ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ದ LBA ಬುಕ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೆಸನ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬುಕ್. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹಿಂಗ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗೋದು ಐತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ನಮ್ಮ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಉಡಾನ್, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಉಡಾನ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ದಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ LBS, that is lesson based assessment book ಆಯಿತು, scoring packages, passing packages. You should add value to your learning for midterm exam ಆಯಿತು, preparatory ಆಯಿತು, for your board exam. You can message or call on to the given number 8123426450, or you can visit our website www.udaandeepak.com. Yes, so ಏನೇ ಡೌಟ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಸಜೆಷನ್ ಇತ್ತು ನನಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ. ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್, ಸಾರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾವು. Then a nutrition in amoeba, you know that amoeba is inactive. You can see in amoeba the nucleus is there, so it will split. First inactive food, it will form a pseudo cavity. Under one small hole martite adana pseudopodia anta heltivi, and it will capture the food through a food vacuum. Yes, so then nutrition in human beings. See, in human beings we are having what? Alimentary canal. ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ರಿ ಕೆನಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿ, ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟಿವ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಈಗ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ರಿ ಕೆನಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಎಸ್, ಸೊ ಸುಡೋಪೋಡಿಯಾ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ದೆನ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ರಿ ಕೆನಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಮಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮೌತ್ ಟು ಏನಸ್. ಸೊ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮೌತ್ ನಿಂದ ಏನಸ್ ತನ ಏನು ಈಗ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತಲ್ರಿ, the food will pass. That one we call it as what? Pseudo alimentary canal. And is associated glands like salivary gland, then gastric glands, liver and pancreas. So in mouth, what is the first already? Teeth. You know that teeth crushes the food into smaller particles and of same texture. Saliva in marketry, saliva is having saliva is secreted by salivary gland, and it is having salivary amylase that converts starch into sugar, and the food moves in the form of waves. We call it as peristaltic movement. Then in stomach we are having 3 people. One is HCl. You know that HCl, hydrochloric acid, it kills the harmful bacteria present in the food, and it makes the stomach medium acidic, so that which facilitate the action of pepsin. Then the stomach is having mucus. The mucus inner lining, mucus ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ, that makes the protects the inner lining of stomach from acid action. Yes, so very good Prakriti, you are giving the right answer. Then you know that herbivorous will have the longer small intestine because the cellulose need to digest, whereas meat is easiest to digest. Carnivores have smaller, shorter small intestine. ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಕಾರ್ನಿವರಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಇಂಟೆಸ್ಟೈನ್ ಸಣ್ಣ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಮೀಟ್ ದ ನಾನ್ ವೆಜ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಸಿಯರ್ ಟು ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟ್. ದೆನ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ small intestine. Small intestine is this is again a 1 mark fixed question. Small intestine is the site of complete digestion of food, that is carbohydrates, proteins and fats. It receives secretion from liver and pancreas, and then the pancreas is yaad bartೈತಿ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ, the pancreatic enzyme act in alkaline medium. So the food coming from the stomach is acidic and it is made alkaline. This is accomplished by bile juice. So bile juice ಎರಡು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ. It will make the food coming from the stomach alkaline, so that pancreatic enzyme can act. And you know that the fats, emulsification of fats ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, that means they break down the larger fat globules into the smaller ones. Yes, then pancreas secretes its own juice called pancreatic juice. We call it as pancreatic trypsin and lipase. Trypsin digests protein and lipase breaks down what? Emulsified fats. Similarly, you can go through it. the intestinal juice iರ್ತೈತಿ. Finally, all the proteins are converted to amino acids, complex carbohydrates into glucose, fats ಏನಿರ್ತೈತಿ fatty acids ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Then most important is the finger-like projections. Yes, the villi irtavu, villi are the finger-like projections. They are present on inner lining of stomach. What does this villi do? They help in absorption of food, and they carry from one part to another. Then you can see, go through this part, you can see the function of salivary amide is here, all that. Then coming to respiration. Respiration is a process in which organism they start breathing. See, breathing is one of the part of respiration, that is intake of oxygen from atmosphere and release, breakdown of simple food in order to release energy inside the cell. So aerobic and anaerobic respiration for screenshot ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಿ. ನಾಳೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ದ ಬರೀತೀರಿ. Sir, can you give important questions of all lessons Pawan agree? At 7:30 I will come online here. Physics, chemistry and biology, all the important questions I will be discussing with the answers, sir. Right? So aerobic presence, it takes place in presence of oxygen, absence of oxygen. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ questions ಬರ್ತಾವು. And this breakdown of glucose by various pathways 3 marks ಇದು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. So glucose ಐತಿ, cytoplasm 6 carbon ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು 3 carbon molecule ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. Absence of oxygen in yeast, ethanol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. So remaining you can see here. Okay. Then the most important part in this is alveoli. So respiration like ಏನು ಬಂದಿದೆ alveoli. You know that alveoli are the balloon-like structures. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ balloon-like structures ಇರ್ತಾವು. You can just see here in which the blood will be flowing. So ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾವೆ ಹೇಳಿ, blood ಏನಿರ್ತೈತಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಬ್ಸಾರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ, ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬಿಡ್ತೈತಿ. That is the function of this alveoli. So what is alveoli? See, the alveoli are the balloon-like structures. See, within the lungs, the passage divides into smaller and smaller tubes, which finally terminate into balloon-like structures called as alveoli. The alveoli provide surface where the exchange of gases takes place. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ alveoli ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ, ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಇದು blood will take what oxygen and carbon dioxide is given. That means the deoxygenated will become oxygenated blood in this case. Okay, then breathing cycle, first inspiration, breathing in, so then you can see breathing out, and which is a respiratory pigment, one mark ಕೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So you know that hemoglobin is a respiratory pigment, ಇದೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. In humans the respiratory pigment is hemoglobin. Okay, present in the RBC, carries oxygen from lungs to different tissues of the body. Hemoglobin has more affinity towards the oxygen. Carbon dioxide is more soluble in water than oxygen, and hence is mostly transported by plasma. So ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, which is a respiratory pigment, hemoglobin is a respiratory pigment. I hope ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ತಿಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ. If you are finding this discussion helpful, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ like ಮಾಡಿ. Then we are having the last second part here, transportation. Transportation means what? The heart. And you know that transportation, blood ಏನೇ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತ್ರಿ, food, oxygen, waste material. And you know that heart is what, the pumping organ. East side, right side ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು oxygenated, left side ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು deoxygenated blood. And you know there are 4 chambers of heart. Why we are having 4 chambers? To prevent oxygen rich blood mixing from the blood containing CO2. Then this is how you should able to know how the functioning of the heart takes place. So the question here asked will be, sir, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎದಕ್ಕೆ 4 chamber heart ಅದಾವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. You know that there are 4 different chambers to prevent the oxygen rich blood mixing. So such separation allows high efficient supply of oxygen to the body. Why we need 4 chambers of heart? Because the separation allows high efficient supply of oxygen. This is useful in animals that have high energy needs, such as birds, which constantly use energy to maintain their body temperature. Such animals are called warm-blooded animals. So what are warm-blooded animals? The animals who do not change their body temperature with the change in environment. In animals that do not use energy needs, the body temperature depends on temperature. Such animals are called cold-blooded animals. Amphibians and reptiles are cold-blooded animals. So this is how the double circulation takes place. I hope you all have studied because it will take much time to revise. I'll cut short my discussion. Okay. And there are two types of blood vessels. This is a fixed question. Arteries and veins are the two types of blood vessels you should remember. So what are arteries? See here how to remember arteries and veins. So you can see arteries here and you can see what veins. So what are arteries? Arteries are the blood vessels. They will carry the blood away from the heart. How to remember? A for arteries, A for away. Then in veins we are having in. So veins are the blood vessels which will carry the blood into the heart. So this is how you should by heart this. See, arteries are the blood vessels. They will carry the blood away. A for arteries, A for away from the heart to various organs. And since the blood is under high pressure, so arteries have thick walls, thick elastic walls. Similarly, veins collect the blood from different organs into the heart, and since the blood is the veins are having thin walls because the blood is not under pressure, so we need to have what the thick walls here. Then there is a network of tissues we call capillaries. So you can just go through it here. Then lymph ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Lymph is a colorless blood and it has the main function is what it carries digestion and absorb fat. Okay, the main function of lymph is what? To carry the digested and absorbed fat from intestine and drains excess fluid from extracellular spaces back into the blood. Then transportation in plants. In plants we are having two, that is water, it is to xylem tissue and to a process called transpiration, and in food we call it as what? It is a phloem tissue through a process called translocation. Then what is transpiration? Transpiration is nothing but loss of water in the form of water vapor from aerial parts of the plant body. That is nothing but what? Transpiration in this case. Yes, Pawan, at 7 I will come online here. Then very good Prakurti, Preetam, very good, excellent. So then the last part of this chapter is excretion. What is meaning of excretion? See, the removal of harmful metabolic nitrogenous waste. So which is the nitrogenous waste present in the body? It is urea and uric acid. You should remember this, okay? The nitrogenous waste which is present in the body is what? Urea and uric acid. So this is the part you should be able to draw in your examination fix. You'll have the diagram put to, they will ask you to identify the part and you should be able and capable to name, and you should know the function of each one of this. Most important of this is what? This is nothing but nephron. So nephron inga ಮಾಡಬೇಕು in a textbook. It is very complex. Don't get confused with neuron and nephron here. Okay. So what is nephron? It is a structural and functional unit of kidneys, and you can just go through the different steps in urine. This is just the revision class. I'll not be taking not more than 10 minutes fast. Glomerular filtration I2, tubular reabsorption and secretion. And one of the fixed question is excretion in plants. So plants कैसे excrete करते हैं? उनके पास kidney नहीं है, they don't have heart, they don't have brain, nothing. But even though they are living, they are surviving. So how do you think the plants are getting excreted? If you are writing this exam tomorrow, you will get fixed question related to excretion in plant only. One of the most important question, and you will definitely see it in question paper. How do plant excrete or explain the excretion in plant? These 4 points you should highlight. So how does excretion in plant takes place? Sadia Bagayat is there, so you can just visit our website there in order to access to any of the details there. Gums and resins, Prakurti Vaidya is there, so definitely dear Ajao. Then Sunny Samwal, very good Sunny. Yes, so The plants get, first you know that the oxygen itself is a waste byproduct which is given by the plant. So first you know oxygen bariri only one mark banbaditi. Then plant gets rid of gaseous product to stomata in leaves and lenticels in stem. And you know that the plants are having what? Gums and resins. If you just see the older plants, they will always be find some kind of gum which is flowing because from it is from the old xylem. And whenever the plants they become yellow in color, and the nodal leaves are yellow ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾವು, that is nothing but they are shedding their leaves. See, the plants get rid of stored solid and liquid waste by shedding of leaves, peeling of bark and felling of fruits. Plants also excrete some waste substances into the soil around them. So fix the question, excretion in plants, definitely you will write. Sir, voice echo agutide. Yes dear, the room, the one which I am taking is a very somewhat, it is the larger room, due to which my voice get echoes. Subsequently, I'll just take care of it soon dear. Sunny is there. Digestion is small intestine. At 7 o'clock, I will be taking one more live session here. At that time, each question I'll write and explain in detail. This is just a marathon, and I'll just having the 10 minutes now because at 4:30 I have another appointments. Okay, so due to which I'll just go. Yes, KRP Preetham, definitely SGRS. Okay, dear. Yes. Coming back to the next chapter, C and C, that is control and coordination. See, control and coordination is brought about by two things in human. One is brain, the another one is nervous system. Okay, the another one is endocrine system, that is hormones. Okay, first I will be studying animals. So usually the humans only will focus, and you know that the nervous system and endocrine system, they are the one which are making the human body to work properly. ओके सो नर्वस सिस्टम में दो लोग हैं, एक ब्रेन होता और एक वी आर हैविंग स्पाइनल कॉर्ड. देन एंडोक्राइन सिस्टम में हार्मोन्स है. So first we will see what is nervous system. Nervous system is one which is connected to nerves. So which and this all the nerves are presented where they are presented in the five sense organs. Those we call it as receptors. And through all these sense organs, the information is stored in brain. Here, brain works as a storage device. How your mobile phone, the internal storage stores all the photos, videos, all the memory. Same thing, the brain, the main function of brain is to store the information. Okay, see, then you can see here we are having five receptors who will receive the information. The largest receptor is the skin. In we should know this objective type question. The receptors present in the mouth, in the tongue is gustatory receptor. Then the present in the nose is olfactory receptors. Then present in the ear is phonoreceptor. In your eye it is photoreceptor. Then in your skin it is a thermoreceptor. Okay. Then what is neuron? I think 9th standard. With this you have completed your 9th tissues chapter. It is a structural and functional unit of nervous system. Don't get confused with nephron. The spelling you should be very careful while studying this. Why? Because you will get confusion between neuron and nephron. Neuron, this is a dendrite which receives information in the form of electrical signal. This is a cell body, soma and then axon, the long thread-like structure. It is having outer coating called Merian sheaths. Then this is a nerve end. This nerve end is very important because at the nerve end the information is converted into electrical signal to chemical signal. That there is a tiny gap between nerve end of one neuron and dendrite of another neuron. So we call it as what? Synapse. So what is synapse really? Synapse is a ಇದರೊಳಗೆ ಬರೋದು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ. I think this all you can read yourself. These are basic questions. The most important is synapse here. Fixed question is synapse. It is a point of contact between nerve end of one neuron and dendrite. ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಸಣ್ಣ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ ಹೇಳಿ, ಆ ಸಣ್ಣ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುವಂತಾದ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಈ ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತೈತಿ. ಓಕೆ. Then the pathway node first dendrite, cell body, axon, nerve end, synapse, then dendrite of next neuron. You should know this. Then finally coming to the second topic, that is reflex action. Remember, reflex action that bari spinal cord ashta role irteti. There is no role of brain in reflex action. So reflex action is a sudden involuntary response. So sudden agi quick irteti adu immediate response irteti. There is no involvement of brain in this case. For example, you can see is touching an hot object, or as soon as you see dog coming towards you, you get scared, you try to escape from situation. All those sudden instances what you find comes under reflex action, and pathway through which reflex action takes place is spinal cord, and this is a spinal cord, the site of reflex action. And ಇದರೊಳಗೆ pathway ನೆನಪು ಪಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. I said the five receptors, that is the skin is the first thermoreceptors. From here the information travels to sensory neuron, the relay neuron. At relay neuron, what will happen is that the danger signal is converted into chemical signal, and that will be converted from motor neuron to effectors the muscle, and you will take it will take less than a second, millisecond ಆಗ್ತೈತ್ರಿ. ಹಿಂಗ್ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಹಿಂಗ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರಿ. In that millisecond you can see it is like watching TV serials. ಈಗ ಬಾಜು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ತಗೋತೈತಿ, it will take a second, but they will take episodes. Same thing, if you touch, first the information move through sensory neuron. Okay, danger ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ತಿಳಿತು. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ ರಿಲೇ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತ್ರಿ, it will convert that signal into chemical. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಮತ್ತೆ motor neuron ಹೇಳ್ತೈತಿ hand muscle ಗೆ, say you should take your hand. This much fast the information will flow, that is nothing but reflex arc. And the information is stored after when the action has taken place. Later the information will be stored in the brain. ಈ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಈಗ ಒಂದೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತ್ರಿ, ಶಾಕ್ ಹೊಡಿತೈತಿ, ಈ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, you will not get, your brain will take some time. Second time touch ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ you will confirm it is giving you shocks. Same thing. Okay, so there are three types of responses. One is voluntary response. The muscles, I think 9th standard you have studied. The muscles which are on your own control are voluntary. Walking, talking, running, dancing, all are voluntary, which is controlled by forebrain. Involuntary are those which you cannot control by yourself. For example, heartbeat. You ask your heart not to beat. No, because it is involuntary. Same thing, vomiting, respiration. Reflex, illa nodri, this involuntary is controlled by mid and hind brain, whereas reflex action is controlled by spinal cord, that is sudden response to anything here. Then the most beautiful part is what? Brain. Tomorrow everyone will draw this in exam. Fix 4 marking partiti. So I don't think we need to spend more. So you should know the there are three types of parts of brain. One is forebrain, then midbrain, hind brain. In Kannada, you know what you call hind brain means what? Teaching. So in Kannada, this is taken. Hind brain means back. Then forebrain, you are having two parts. One is cerebrum. The another one is hypothalamus. This cerebrum is a storage device. It is the main thinking part. Controls voluntary action. All this you can see. And hypothalamus is not mentioned. Hypothalamus controls what? There are two parts here. You should be very much thorough with this brain. One is forebrain. Second one is hypothalamus. Hypothalamus controls hunger. Okay, and it maintains body temperature. Nenapudkobeku, which part of the brain controls body temperature means you should know it is hypothalamus. And hunger, appetite, bhook lagna, itna khana, that is be associated with hypothalamus only. Then midbrain, it is connects fore and hind brain, and the main function of midbrain is it controls sleep cycle. Sleep and wake up cycle we call it as what? Cardinal cycle. Sleep and wake up cycle is controlled by whom? Midbrain. Okay. Then the last is hind brain. It is having three parts. Cerebellum maintains body balance and posture. Medulla in involuntary actions, BP, heartbeat, salivation, vomiting. Pons, see, pons controls what here? pons controls the facial expression. It controls facial expressions and mastication. So this is very important. Mastication meaning is what? Chewing. So it's something you are eating when you are tense, how you chew and all. That is all controlled by pons. And when you are sad, angry, or how your facial expressions will change, pons. Then the last part, that is endocrine. Endocrine system are ductless, and we are having five endocrine glands here. You can see first one in the brain, which is having the pituitary gland. It secretes a hormone called growth. Function is growth and development. If this hormone secret ಆಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತ್ರಿ ಕುಳ್ಳಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರ. The person becomes short. You know, from the Maharashtra in India we can find a beautiful lady called Jyoti Amge, the 31 years lady now presently. Instagram, very popular YouTuber. She's a popular YouTuber. She's the shortest lady in the world presently, and you can find she is suffering from a deficiency called as dwarfism, because the growth hormone aage illa. So due to which, and similarly, if this growth hormone secretes very high, over secretion aitu, then a person suffers from gigantism or gigantism. It is called extremely tall. The world's tallest person presently is Sultan. The present living is Sultan from Afghanistan. You can just find him again. Both are what famous YouTubers. Then thyroid gland. So it secretes a hormone called thyroxine. So it regulates. It is called personality hormone because it regulates carbohydrates, proteins, and fat metabolism. And it secretes a hormone called thyroxine. If the food doesn't have iodine, the neck will swell, and that we call it as what? Goiter. And in order that we should not suffer from goiter, we need to have iodized salt in our diet. Then the last second gland is adrenal. Adrenal glands are very stylish because those are cap-like structures which are present on top of both the kidneys. ಎರಡು ಕಿಡ್ನಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಎರಡು ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾವ್ರಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ adrenal gland ಅಂತಾವು. And they secretes a hormone called adrenaline hormone. Those are called emergency, because in an emergency situations like triple F, fight, flight and fright. So fear, anxiety, depression, ಮಾನಸಿಕತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹುಚ್ಚರಗತೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ್ರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಮಾವಾಸ್ಯೆ ಹುಣ್ಣಿಮೆ ಬಂತು ಕುಣಿಯೋ ಚಾಲು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So all that it comes under what? Adrenal gland. So we call them as lunatic. Lunatic ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ರಿ? ಅಮಾವಾಸ್ಯೆ ಬಂತು ಹುಣ್ಣಿಮೆ ಬಂತು ಹುಚ್ಚರಗತೆ ಮಾಡೋದು. Okay, so mayak bರ್ತೈತಲ್ರಿ, that is because of this adrenal gland. And whenever you get such a situation, you suffer. It prepares your body from scary situation. And how does adrenaline prepare your body? First, it makes your blood pressure increases, then more oxygen is supplied to your blood, and your heartbeat increases, your breathing rate increases. This is what we should write. Then pancreas, the last second again, that is yes, any doubt here, let me know. I am just cutting it short, very short. In pancreas itself is a gland. It is a mixed gland. It is both endocrine and exocrine gland, because it is called as a mixed gland. It is secretes a hormone called insulin. It controls blood sugar level. ನಿಮ್ದು ರಕ್ತದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವ ಶುಗರ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಡಯಾಬಿಟಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ ಇದು ಇನ್ಸುಲಿನ್. And if this insulin secrete aage illa, the person suffers from what? Diabetes, very deadly disease. So the diabetes aitu, so within 1 or 2 years severe aitu andre switch off. So kidney fail ಆಗ್ತೈತ್ರಿ, ಕಿಡ್ನಿ ಯೂರಿನ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್. Okay, to treat increased level of the ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕ್ರಿ? ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಶುಗರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಬೇಕು? ಡಯಾಬಿಟಿಸ್ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಇನ್ಸುಲಿನ್. Then we are having two beautiful sex hormones. One is testosterone. Is bari male alli ashte irteti jasti. Then estrogen irteti in females. So those only will released after puberty. For example, at the age of 11 to 10 to 12 in females, 13 to 14 years in males. He hormone produce start ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. When this secreted by testes, I think testes they are two in number. Okay, so testes ಇರ್ತಾವು. ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವೆ ಹೇಳಿ testes? So they produce the testosterone hormone and they promotes ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವೆ ಅವು? Appearance of male sex character like voice deepen ಆಗೋದು, growth of armpits ಆಗೋದು, chest and pubic hair ಬರೋದು and sperm ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಹೇಳಿ? ಟೆಸ್ಟೋಸ್ಟೆರೋನ್ ಕೆಲಸ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಡೈಲಿ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಅದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು. ದೆನ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅದಾರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ಸ್ and ಎರಡು ಓವರಿ ಇರ್ತಾವು. ಬಟ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನೋ ದಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ಲೊಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಬಾಡಿ. why these testes are located outside the body edaka ಹೊರಗೆ ಅದಾವ್ರಿ? because the production of sperms require lower temperature than body temperature. so ಯಾವಾಗ ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ sperms ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಈಸ್ಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಓವರಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಇರ್ತಾವು and ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಸೆಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಏನೇನು ಇರ್ತಾವೆ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ? ಬ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎನ್ಲಾರ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗೋದು, then nipples erect ಆಗೋದು, erection of nipples, all that comes under estrogen. then growth of body hair, prominently underarms hair ಆಯ್ತು, pubic hair, then hips ಎಲ್ಲ widen ಆಗೋದು, all that comes under estrogen. and not only that, every month eggs are produced and egg produce ಆಗಬೇಕು and baby ಆಗಬೇಕು, all that it will be taken care. if baby ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, that egg will break and it will come out in the form of blood, that we call it as menstrual cycle. all that will be taken care by estrogen. then feedback mechanism, it is nothing but whether the proper amount of hormone is released, it is regulated by feedback mechanism. then in plants we are having trophic movements. so you should know we are having two types. growth independent movement, we call it as nastic movement. growth independent movement we call it as nastic movement ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. nastic movement ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. see, touch me not plant is not called as a tropism ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. so you know that touch me not plant is doesn't come under tropism because it is growth independent movement, it is a nastic movement. okay, so example is stigmotropism. you can see touch me not plant comes under growth ಅಂದ್ರೆ growth ಆಗಕತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, but it is showing movement. ನೀವು ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, the leaves are getting folded, it is growth independent. similarly growth dependent movement allow. so other four are growth. phototropism, response of plant parts in response to light. geotropism, in response to gravity. chemotropism, in response to chemicals. you can just read the examples. hydrotropism. then the last slide we are having how many? so I think okay, on the slide I think just see here, we are having what? Three growth promoters: auxins, gibberellins and cytokinase. These three will promote growth. promote ಅಂದ್ರೆ growth ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವು. this one will inhibit. inhibit means they will decrease ಮಾಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದ್ಸಲ height ಆಯ್ತು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, they will stop the growth. so ಇದರೊಳಗೆ ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇವು ಮೂರು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವು and abscisic acid will stop the growth. you know auxins, you can just go through this. it is important cytokinase, it is fixed. okay, you know that cytokinase promotes what? cell division. then one question bartೈತಿ auxin. you know that this auxin ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ? when the plants are growing, what are the tendrils? tendrils are one, they grow with the support. money plant ನೋಡಿರಿ, it will always grow with the support, creepers and all. so when the growing plant detect like a hormone called auxin synthesized at the shoot tip, when the light is coming from one side, auxin diffuse towards the shady side. and the light ಈ ಸೈಡ್ ಬರಾಕತ್ತೈತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಸೈಡ್ ಶೇಡ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಲ್ರಿ ಆ ಸೈಡ್ auxins ಬರ್ತಾವು, ಆ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಬೆಳ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತಿ. that is what you should know here. see here, this is what the sun is here, auxins are promoted on this side. okay, so ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾವೆ ಹೇಳಿ? the plant ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಸುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೈತಿ. that is what you should write in this case. Similarly, when a tendril ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ರಿ, those plant which grow with the support we call it as tendril. Creepers, grapes ಆಯ್ತು, money plant ಆಯ್ತು, they comes in contact with support. Oxygen ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಟಚ್ ಆಗೈತೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಆ ಸೈಡ್. Okay, they stimulate faster growth. On the opposite side there is a slow growth. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಅದು ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡಿನ if you try to just make it straight, ಅದು ಕಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. That is how the cells are stronger. So with this I think we got this is just a marathon, just short video. We are running already, it is 4:30. So I hope you all are doing excellent. Any doubt ittu suggestion to comment section alli haki. Yes, Preetham, Abdul Razak, Junaid, uh, Prakurti, tendrils, very good here. The next class will be at 7:30 dear, and those students, yes, physics definitely dear, I'll come later. Yes, Preetham, Diveshwar Batigeri, excellent. Yes. So with this we finish this session. Any doubt ittu suggestion comment section alli haki, and if you want to uplift your studies for upcoming board exam aitu, preparatory exam midterm, you can just purchase our UDAAN books. So you can just not only that, 12 set of UDAAN books will be delivered at your doorstep in 2-3 working days. So you can just visit our website www.udaandeepak.com, in which you can get books aitu, LBAs, that is lesson based assessment books, scoring packages, passing packages, or you can message or call on to the number 8123426450. You can just see it on the screen. Yes, so ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತೈತೆ ಓದಿ, ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲೀಕ್ ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನೀವು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಎನಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಐ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಪೇರ್, ಐ ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಆನ್ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್. ನೀವು ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಯು block here, never your messages will get highlighted. Okay, ನಮ್ಮ ಚಾನಲ್ ನೀವು ನೋಡಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. So make sure maintain the decorum, dignity of the classes, let it be offline or online. You should be sensible. Okay, so pata pata ಏನೈತಿ ಓದಬೇಕು, and as a student you should, your focus should be between what, studying. Okay, so ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತೈತೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಚಂದಾಗಿ ಓದಿ. At 7:30 possibly I will come online, and we will start with what physics, chemistry and biology. With that we will finish our science discussion. Then on Saturday, that is tomorrow, maths will start. Then Sunday will start with Kannada second language. Okay, so ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತೈತೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಓದಬೇಕು. At 7:30 again I will be meeting. So till then keep learning, keep growing. ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತೈತೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಓದಬೇಕು dear. Okay, so current and resistance are inversely proportional. Sunil Lakuru. Physics I have done already all the marathons, physics, chemistry, biology, all the important questions. 27 marks ಗೆ ಏನು ಬರ್ತೈತಿ, then all that questions I have done. Then biology will get for 28 marks. So ನೀವು ಏನೇನು ಓದಬೇಕು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡಿ your mind will connect. Okay, so ಆಕಾಶ್